people with a minimal amount of sight to blindness.
Norway News, published by the town of Norway for its residents.
What it does is
Number 72.
it captures any document that you put on it, any textbook. It doesn't pick up photographs or diagram types of things, but it picks up all of the words, and you can select that it read in columns or that it read across the page.
Mark your calendar, this will be a winter
So,
to remember. Thanks, Paul.
There
Staff
are
director, Western staff. Is Scott Watson,
9
works
different
in
voices that you
Contact
can select
yourself, where both
for the
safety
reading
and
voice,
many more
and you can adjust the speed for it. What I've done is I've set it up to a monitor, so if it's someone that still has some vision, but not enough that, you know, they can get through things, this way they can read along with it and still hear it. I also suggest this at times when it's for a person who is blind. If you set the monitor up, someone else who's sitting with them when they're first starting can take them through all of the setups of it. The setups for this, so there's a series, I'm gonna pause this. There's a series of programs, can you see that? Okay, so you can go into this, and you can pick up anything from there. There are public domain books, or you can play an audio from this. So I'm gonna select the public domain, and then it lists all of the books that are in there, and then you can just select one of these, and it'll come up on here. So for someone that's just starting with this, it's nice that somebody else can sit with them and they can kind of take them through, because it does read it fast for you. You can control the volume, and you can control the speed at which it reads. But this will work for anything that is printed, any type of a text, any type of a magazine. It does not work for handwritten documents. So they can put mail under it, they can put bills under it, anything like that. So this is the Sarah C. The Sarah C also has a companion partner that's called this Pearl camera that you can connect up to a computer. And so you can have the same thing happen that way. If they have JAWS on their computer and it's someone that works with computer, this will capture the image and send it to the computer and read it for them. So you can either get it as a freestanding piece, or you can get just the camera that attaches to a computer if they're computer friendly.
This is Joan. Go back to, so the function keys are, the
They're on the
person,
front of it.
okay, all right, so the
There's,
person can independently.
There's a round, you know, afterwards you can, there's a series of keys on the top, and this is your, the red one with the circle, and you can feel. Okay, this is the one that captures your image, and once the camera clicks, you can turn a page or insert another document, and it just does it just that fast, almost instantaneous, that you can keep doing that with a book or something. The next one is your start and stop for the reading of it, and then if you want to go forward or backward or up and down to a paragraph or thing, that's the center series of controls. There's also what I went into, which is a brown one, and this is your guide for all of the different
Okay, that's the
programs.
second one, okay.
Okay, and then each one of those programs, you know, you can scroll down to it, like voice settings.
Submenu, reading voice, submenu,
See, so I can now select,
voice rate, voice selection,
From the United States. Louder, louder.
Karen Estrada, level, level,
Danny, United Kingdom.
Emily, United Kingdom. So in the United Kingdom.
Sangeeta, India.
Okay, so you, and then you would just, whichever one you wanted, you would then just,
Samantha, United States. The reading voice selection is now set to Samantha.
so now I'm going back to Samantha for the reading voice for that. But there's also a yellow one on the end with a question mark,
Help key, you are now in help.
and
Press
it
any
will
key to learn what it does.
tell you
Press
what,
this help key again to leave help.
tell you what any one of these,
Selector key, press to select an item from a dialog or list.
okay, so it,
Rewind, press to move backward through a list by 10 items.
Okay,
okay, and then when you're done,
Help key, leaving help.
okay, then at the bottom, there's a power, there's your, yeah, there's your loudness, there's your speech rate, and then you can also turn this camera light on. If you have something that's got on a dark background, if you turn the light on, you turn the light on, and then that enhances it, and it helps with the, But, so those are the functions, but you've always got this, you know, over in this corner here, you always have this one that's got, you can feel it, that it's got a question mark on it. And that also helps you if you're sitting at it, but as I said, if you're going to work with somebody with it, just set a monitor to it, and that helps. We've had a couple where, they've been placed and there was a sighted person in the home, so those first couple times that they were working with it, that person could help them a little with it. But we've also placed it where there isn't a sighted person, and with the instructions they've done. Freedom Scientific does user-friendly workbooks for every product, and if you've used some of them, then you're familiar with that. So that's what this does. These
now,
two.
just another question, this
That's
is
okay.
Joan. Instead of hooking a monitor, can you hook a braille display into that? Instead of, I'm just thinking of some consumers where instead of they want to be able to read books.
I know
Instead
that
of
you can
getting,
hook like a Daisy, the Daisy reader into that. It would depend on, there are different plugs in the back. Now, I've got,
But you'd still need something to drive the braille, right?
a screen reading program. What's a screen reading program that's being used for the Series E's? Is that JAWS or is that
this one is Open Book.
Open
The
Book?
program that's
Okay.
in, that is doing this is the Open Book
Okay.
program.
That was what I was doing my search on, was Open Book. That's what I was doing my search on.
This is the,
Okay.
this is the demo on the Open Book, and this is what's driving that.
Okay.
So, and I can leave you one of these if you'd like that.
That's great.
I mean, that's a demo of that. I also brought you a demo of JAWS.
Okay, well, do we need JAWS? I know we've got, we don't need, all
Okay,
right. we'll just-
but I will leave you,
Open Book, okay.
okay, I also brought you a demo of Magic, which is the enhancement program
Okay.
for people with the low vision part of it.
Okay.
So I don't know if.
Yes, we would have,
Yeah.
yes.
You would like one of those? That's, yeah, not a problem.
All right.
I brought you the low vision. Well, you may have this, but this is the Freedom Scientific catalog, and it has, so it has the Sarah C.
Mhm.
It has all of the low vision products, but it also has all of the blindness products, all of the software products.
Okay.
So, absolutely, I brought,
I guess I wasn't aware that Magic was made by Freedom Scientific. That's kind of where that was.
yeah, and Magic has this, you know, the speech, there's the two, the professional, and then there's the regular one, but, right now, they all run on Windows 7. there has to be some fine tuning, and I'm sure that that's going to come into the next few months where they have to do some adaptations, and so therefore you download, you know,
Right.
you download that so that it works with 8, because right now it does not work with 8. It works with 7.
It says right here, connect a Freedom Scientific Braille display for instant transcription
Oh, there you go.
in contracted or uncontracted Braille.
Okay.
So, in the
Okay.
book, it even
Oh,
says
we
it
go
does
to
do that.
read that.
When I saw this there, I'm like, well, maybe it tells you if it does that. So I guess, yes, to your answer, to your question.
Well, and you have these, right?
Right.
So.
We have, yeah, we've ordered them and, yes.
Jaws version 14.0.1534.
And that's the JAWS, and that you have also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the other things that I brought are the new Ruby, which would be for your low vision. And the new one is an HD, and it has a built-in stand, and it's a little bit larger. This is the one that we've been working with for the last few years. This is the regular Ruby. It has all of the color combinations. It has the increments for magnification. This is our little extra stand. So it works with the handle, or it works flat. So it works very similar to what you have. This, your colors go strictly by pressing the arrow, the blue arrows up and down, and it will just cycle around. Okay. The increments on this newer one and the new one that's coming out on this one are strictly 1 degree at a time.
Oh, wow.
Where this one would jump by 3s or that. The new one of this one, we just got in the store. This one sells for $545. The new ones are $645. But they have this. They also have the capacity that you can download your documents or pictures from here to a computer. And this now has a reading line so that you can, and it has the handle that is a 2-position handle. So you can use it that way, or you can, use it this way. And you can see faces with.
You've got it on the blue yellow.
Does my face look wonderful on blue yellow?
No one's face looks wonderful.
Okay.
The charge does.
There.
Oh, that's,
Yeah, very natural, okay.
So this is the new kid on the block as far as the portable reader, so I'll leave that.
it's really nice, that angle, that you can have it up
It
towards you
is,
rather
I
than-
mean, this is what they were doing for this one, so that people can do that, but the angle on that one is,
Especially if you sit a little short.
yes. So, but the colors work the same. You can also, you can put prescription bottles and things underneath it to freeze for that. So I'll leave those here, that this is Freedom's portable readers. But, yeah, that one with the built-in stand, that easel on it does. Then I brought a few items from the store, just for you to have an idea of what we have in the store. I brought our hand and our stand magnifiers. This is a 3X in a stand one, and you just push that along. This is a 3.5 in the hand one, and if it's marginalized reading, people like this because of the offset handle on it. So if you wanted to try that. We have these little talking keychains, and it's a $12.95 item, so it's, this is a full budgeting. But you can set alarms with this. You can set it that it'll announce the time on the hour, or you can set alarms with it, and it's just a single button, right? So I brought that along as something that we carry in the store. And then we have talking watches, and we have Braille watches in the store. Braille watches run between $80 and $90. Women's is $79.95 and the men's is $89.95 for the Braille watches. The talking watches run anywhere from $29.95 to $59.95. And I've worked out with the jeweler in West Dallas that if somebody needs a battery changed, or if they need band adjustment, they can take it to Diane's Designs in West Dallas. She will do it, and then she just bills me for the work, so I can work that out so that, so that there's a close place in the store that people can go and know that somebody can work on their watches for them. So that's it. This is one of our talking clocks, and I know that you maybe saw when you came in, but, the one press of it gives you the
The
time.
time is now 13 minutes to 9 a.m.
And then the second.
Today, Monday, March 3rd.
Okay, and this, you can set, it's a high and a low for voice, and you can set alarms, and you can set hourly announcements on this. We have a few different styles in the store. I also have a couple of cube clocks in the store where there's no face to it. You just press the top of it and it tells you the time. So for a blind person who doesn't need to see this, I have that, and one is $29.95 and the other one is $49.95. So there's a couple choices for that. I also have writing paper. Is there a tablet in this? We have lined writing paper, and we have 20/20 pens.
Today, Monday, March 3rd.
Here, what?
And this is kind of the rest, the small merchandise that we carry in the store, so that,
The time is now 11 minutes to 9 a.m.
it's on high right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's,
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you. Yeah, but I was just thinking of hard of hearing. High, I mean, I know what you're saying, high pitch, but. And you think they'd make them with lower pitched voices?
Yeah, because most,
Once in a while.
and here's on the Freedom's low vision products. So this one here is all, and this one is just the low vision products. So I brought a few of those along.
You have more magnifiers than this here, so don't you? You have the ones that you just pick up and they turn on, they don't have little
You mean non-lighted?
They're lighted, you pick them up and the light goes on.
Where you touch the
As you
handle
touch
and
the
the
handle.
No.
No, because if you have them turned the wrong way and you touch the handle,
With the LED light.
not that I would do something like
At
that.
least the light will go.
Okay, we also have the lined paper, we have it in this size, and then we have two in the regular tablet size. It's the 5/8 and the 7/8 spacing, and then we carry 20/20 pens. You're familiar with the 20/20?
I have no idea what a 20/20 pen is.
It's like a Sharpie, but it doesn't soak through, it's awesome.
Right, and it's got a lighter tip to it, so
Wait a
I'll-
I have no idea what a 20/20, these, like I said, these guys are the
Yeah.
experts in that stuff.
We also carry the large print calendars, and I was gonna bring one, so I will get one over here for you, but they're this size, and so each day of the calendar is a square this size for people to put appointments and things, and I always recommend that 2020 pen for them because it won't bleed through to the rest of the calendar pages, and those are $9.95, so we have a number of small ticket items. We also have playing cards, and we have Braille cards, we have shutbox Braille and non-Braille. We have cooking aids, pot watchers and different, scales, talking scales. I also have talking scales, regular size. Let's see what else is on the I have a wall of like ultra optic products, which are for people that just need a cheater item for maybe a project or something, but not someone who has macular or that. I always tell them, this is if you just need it for one small item, but this is not going to solve that problem. My magnifying glasses go up to a 14x. They start at the 3 and they go to 14x in both the stand and the hand. We have bump dots.
I have cheating glasses with the lights and non-lighted.
Right, yes, I have, that's right. I forgot a pair of those. We have reading glasses that go from 100 to a 500, so it's 150 now. And they have little lights in here so that you can turn this on, and therefore you can tunnel that light right there for reading purposes. So, that would probably be an interesting item for you to be aware of.
I use that for this one restaurant, we always have to turn the flashlight on.
Well, and see with these, the lights are just set right in there, and so there's a little button on the inside of each one of them. So you can put one light on or both lights, but it just keeps it right there focused for you. They're $39.95 up here. And I also have like TV glasses, or it's got like a double lens for people that need to sit that close, and even if that doesn't do it, so with the TV glasses, it brings it any closer for them. So that's pretty much what I have in the store. If you want to try this, you're obviously well familiar with that, so, that's up to you, but if you want to sit down at the Sarah C., please feel free to do that. Do you have any questions for me?
I do, I have a question about the talking watches.
Yes.
Lately, we've had a few consumers who have had issues really quickly with talking watches. Is there a brand or a kind that you found more reliable than any other?
But what I do is if someone's bought it from us, and if within 30 to 45 days they have a problem with it, I take it back and allow them to exchange it for something else.
Sure.
And then I send it back to the company.
Yeah, I have no idea where these people got theirs, but just seemed like there were a lot that were problematic, and it wasn't just one kind, and I just wondered if you had found that you've had less problems with returns with any particular kind.
The buyer for that is in the St. Paul store, and sometimes I will call him and say, do you have such and such a watch? Because somebody called and he said, no, I won't carry that one. So I think by his selection, we don't have a lot of, I think I've only had 2 returned, and one husband bought it for a wife, and as it turned out, it wasn't what she wanted. It didn't work for her. And then another one where it didn't work, and then we just exchanged it. But I don't have too much of a problem with that, son. I think that's part of our buyer who, says, I won't carry this or that, because I've called him and asked him, so-and-so called and they'd like such a product, and he said, no, we won't carry that because it's not dependable, and then it's just more frustration for the person, so. His job is strictly searching and that, so.
Do they tell you what the problem is?
The voices stop.
Oh, it doesn't work anymore.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the battery. Sometimes
Then we go and change the battery and it's still doesn't work.
and I've had that too, and sometimes it's the kind of battery that I thought I could put into it. that's how I connected up with this jeweler in West Dallas, because I went to Batteries Plus for replacements, and they didn't work, and so that's when I thought, no, I'm just gonna take these to a jeweler. So I took all of the watches that needed batteries and said, I don't wanna ruin these by putting the wrong battery in it. And so she sat down with them, and that's when I worked this out, that instead of us sending people to Batteries Plus, take it there. She'll do it, she'll put it in for you, and then she'll just bill me for the battery, so. You had a question?
Yeah, the portable reading camera, it looks like this one has to be connected to a computer, whereas the Sarah has the option to be independent. How are these different?
It's the same camera. It's the same camera, but this one you can take with you.
Oh, because it folds, okay.
Well, yes, it's the exact same camera. If you took this off of here, you'd have to figure out something else to mount it on, because it's not a freestanding. I mean, you're gonna get, it's gonna come off, but not easily, because when I went to Freedom and they were talking about this, and I said, well, you get this whole plate that has to come off. And so unless you have something else that you're gonna mount it on, you don't have
Well,
any
you had
stability.
said if you wanna just get the camera, you can hook it up to a computer.
And that would
Then
be,
you're saying this would be the camera.
that's the camera, yes.
Oh,
it's
you
this-
wouldn't, okay, that's.
Yeah, no, it's the same camera, but it's got a platform so that you can, it's freestanding. This unit is $1895, the camera is $650. So if you wanted it for hooking with a computer, you would just buy the camera.
I have a question.
Certainly.
Do you ever go to places to sell, like, do you have a mobile store, or do you ever go to, like, senior resident apartment buildings?
Yes.
And you do? Okay.
Yes, and there's no charge for that. If they call us, we set up a time and we go right into that. And we usually ask, do you have an idea of what you'd like? We normally take a reading machine along. I carry the Topaz, so we usually take a Topaz, and then there's another one in here that is called the Onyx. And the Onyx is a much more portable reading machine. You can get it with a tray or without, but it fits into one of these rolling suitcases, so you can travel with it. But it also, you can take it up and down the stairs and into different rooms a lot easier than the full one, because this is cumbersome to move around unless it's on a rolling table. But this is on a 360-degree camera. So with that camera, you can turn it to see your face. I have one gentleman, when I said that, he came in a week later and he said, look, I trimmed my own mustache. I mean, so, people can see their faces and they can do things that they haven't been able to do for 15, 20 years. That's one of the things. You can also turn it outside if you have somebody that loves to watch birds or that. They can turn it. It's all on a remote control, and therefore they can zoom in the outdoors or that. If it's someone that does crafts or jigsaw puzzles, you lay you build your puzzle here, but with this camera, you can swing it to the side, lay all your pieces. They can look at the monitor, find the piece, bring the camera over and put it back in. Same thing with crafts, knitting, embroidery, anything like that. You can do all of that much easier under the Onyx desk set. And there's also, with the Onyx, there are PC editions where it's again the camera that you can mount next to, and you can get that. It's something that they suggest for students because they can turn it to the blackboard and zoom that in and put it right on their laptop in front of them. So, and that's the PC edition of the Onyx.
We also make in-home visits, especially if people have an idea of what they might like. We'll take some of the store to their house and they can try things out there. we'll make deliveries to the house, all of that is at no charge.
The only thing that we ask is that there is somebody else there with that individual when we go in. We want, someone else that's gonna be helping them with their decision-making. That should be there. And then if they do purchase something, we go in and we train them on it. And there's no charge for that either.
Right now, we're open on Monday and Wednesdays from 10 to 3, and Saturdays from 9 to 1, so, but other days, we're fine with making appointments either for home visits or come to the store and look at things.
Any other question?
I have one. So you make assessments and then you do referrals, is that correct? So,
Well, we do training here as
training,
well.
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
we do training of independent living and communication.
Okay.
We provide training on JAWS as well as the Braille
Oh,
displays.
all right, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then the employment, we do the employment specialist that is making that connections with the employers. And then we have the outreach person and the deaf blind specialist. Well, they're basically the technical people and everyone does assessments.
Okay.
Because it's one piece, we normally do a comprehensive assessment, but we're looking at all aspects, or just to give them something to think about.
So after a person has been assessed, you might have a pretty good idea of what they need.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
And if somebody was to come to our store after your assessment, they might have an idea of kind of what they'd be looking for.
Correct.
It's- Well, and that obviously helps for home visits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and if anyone comes with a referral from you, a suggestion that they come to the store, if they tell us that, then they automatically get a 10% discount. I mean, that's just, if someone has, someone has done that type of research and they say, if you wanna look at these items, here's a place, as long as they mention that, they're given the benefit of a discount on that.
You're familiar with the big print calendars, I'm sure, right? I mean, would you like
Yes,
that,
I've
would you like to have
got
one
a
here?
couple of them
Oh, okay.
here already.
Okay.
That
All right, so I'm gonna be out and about today, and I was gonna drop them off,
Oh.
if you've got some fun.
Yeah. Right now with the statewide equipment distribution program, when this first started, just so you guys are aware, we contracted with Perkins to do our purchasing for us. So when I mean we, it's the state of Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Public Service Commission. They're the one that's the financial people controlling the grant. And this center is assessing adults, whereas the Wisconsin Deafblind Technical Assistant Project, which is ages 0 to 21, they're assessing the children. Right now, our contract with Perkins is through June of this year. And I'm gonna have to be meeting with the other constituents to decide how we wanna go manage this next coming year in terms of purchases. But right now, I think Perkins has been going directly to Freedom Scientific, so I don't know how that, the local dealer, how that plays in.
Yeah, and see, Freedom is supposed to then be letting us know about that.
Oh,
But,
okay.
that comes through the main store, so. I
That
don't-
sounds how you got in contact with Susan, that sounds like.
Yes, because I was doing a price quote for an individual who I knew that JAWS, I knew the JAWS price, but I wasn't aware of Magic. And I didn't even think that Freedom Scientific made Magic. I just, I was clueless on that. So then I went to Google Magic and they wanted my information. And I wasn't gonna put the client's information in, so I
No.
put my information in.
Right.
And that's when Susan contacted me. All right, well, any other questions?
Well, if you're out and about, and you're welcome to stop in at the store, or we're just up the, well, not just up the block, but we're in the area.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having us.
Appreciate you taking the time.
Did anyone want to,
Play with
play with this?
go play with it, Deanne.
Okay, I'll go play with it.
Because this